The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Customer service, can I help you?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Hello. I've been online for so long. I talked to he gave me.
Yes, you're speaking.
Oh, I got hit.
And wait a minute,
I got witnesses. They already
whose
came
fault
and took.
whose fault was it? Are you trying to collect money out of us? I want to know whose
Yeah,
fault.
yeah, it's your fault.
I wasn't driving. Don't say it was my fault.
Okay, it was Lori.
Give me the claim number.
The claim number is 2.
Okay. Oh, it's your fault. Actually, you ain't gonna get no money out of
My
us.
fault. There was a cop. I had all kinds of witnesses. They came and took pictures of my car.
Well, I'm saying they decided it was your fault.
How can it be my fault if I'm not in the car and the lady that...
Of course how was the car gonna drive itself? Of course.
I wasn't even in the car. I'm sitting in the car. I went in the store.
We're the ones
Sir, I go in the store to go buy something, right?
I don't give a damn. Your car, obviously you were in the car because you got in an accident. This don't make it.
I did not. The cop was right there.
This don't make it. That'll all be thrown.
I got it. You know what? You want me to read off the report?
I don't care. I don't need to hear no accident report. That'll all be thrown out of court.
I'm sitting in the car. I went in the store.
Let me ask you, have anti-lock brakes?
Oh, yeah, I got...
Shut up. You got tinted windows?
No.
Were you drinking?
No.
And what time was the accident?
10 o'clock in the morning.
And you mean to tell me you weren't hungover from drinking of...
I don't even drink.
I find that very hard to believe, sir.
How can you find that hard to believe?
I think you were probably drinking all night and you get in your car.
Drinking all night? Well, how could you insinuate that?
Well, you told me the accident was at 10 o'clock in the morning.
What do you drink?
This accident, your fault. I know that one way
really?
or another.
I was in line buying cigarettes and a soda.
You were in your car. I don't believe that for a second.
I was not. Do you realize that I got witnesses?
I don't care. It'll all be thrown out of court.
Did you know that they came and got... What's your name? What's your name?
This is Jim Bob you're talking to here.
Jim Bob?
Yes.
And you're telling me I'm a drinker?
I think you sound like you drinking right now. It'll all be thrown out of court.
Oh, it will?
You ain't getting no cash money out of
No,
how much?
They just offered me $2,200.
Yeah, well, I'm offering you $0.
You
How
know
does
what?
that sound?
Just for you saying that, right? Instead of me taking it, you know what I'm going to do just for that? And I'm going to tell them, Jim Bob told me I wasn't getting nothing.
Good.
And I'm taking it to now.
Good. You tell them whatever the hell you
want. Want double to do it.
Good. Tell them you got for brains, too.
Yeah, you got for brains.
You sound like you got
Who the hell do you think you're talking to?
You sound like you got your head stuck up your behind.
Man, what the hell are you talking about? If I'm not even in my car and somebody hits it...
You had to be because you got the
accident. Here, I'm going to get you. Lori was in the car.
Lori got her head stuck up her behind, too. Maybe,
oh, really?
Maybe she
swears that nobody was in the car that she hit.
I swear she got for brains if she think that's going to hold up in court.
Oh, yeah, I don't even know this lady. And if you think... For 1 minute, she's gonna smash my front end, and I'm not gonna get nothing for it. You got for brains.
You got your head stuck up
your ass. You got your head stuck up your ass.
You sound like a goddamn city slicker.
What's wrong with you?
You son of a bitch!
If I was down there, I'd kick your ass right now.
I'm in a wheelchair. I put a hurting on you so
You're
fast.
You're in a wheelchair?
I got cancer. I put all my boxing gloves.
Man, I don't give a I got cancer, I got cirrhosis of the liver, and I'll still whip your ass.
I got in a bronco busting accident. I'm missing one arm. I put a hurting on you so fast.
You son of a bitch. I got all the information right here.
See, I don't give a damn, you city slicker, some bitch, you.
Yeah, Willie, can I help?
Yeah, Willie?
Yeah.
Yeah, Willie, I just spoke with right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know who Bob Jim is?
Oh, Jim Bob, he's one of my employees.
He's one of your employees?
Yeah.
Do you know how rude he is?
What you talk about?
He told me, I just got off the phone and they said, oh my God, is that right? They're going over there first thing in the morning.
Oh, don't, what you talk about?
Well, what did we talk about? See, I had somebody come to my car and take pictures, right?
Yeah.
And they came to an estimate of $2,201.50.
Oh, you trying to get cash money out of my company?
I'm trying. No. I want my car fixed. They hit my car.
Well, take your car down to the damn repair shop and fix the damn thing.
People came.
How much money you want out of us? $100, $500? What you want?
Listen, the people came, took pictures.
Come on, I got 5 other people on the telephone.
Okay,
What you want? What do you want? $500, $100, $1,000? How much money you want?
$8,000 car I got, right?
$8,000? Oh, come on, don't be a jive turkey. Don't be a jive turkey.
What do you mean don't be a jive? You know what year my car is?
I don't give a damn what year your car.
What?
A 95 with your car.
Wait a minute, what are you saying? There ain't no $8,000 cars out there?
You want to get $8,000? I don't. Where you get these numbers at? Where you get these numbers from? I don't know what you talk about.
Mike, you asked me how my car was. How much is it worth? And I told you.
I don't believe that your car worth in 20.
You know what year it is? 98.
Yeah, you trying to collect cash money out of us? We'll give you $1,000.
1,000?
8,000. Who the hell you think you is, boy?
Man, they just came and took pictures, right?
I don't give a shit they say. We'll give you $500.
500?
Yeah, if you're lucky.
If I'm lucky. 500 wouldn't fix the fender.
$500, a lot of money. You go buy yourself some malt liquor, throw a big old party with $500.
I'm not the one that took pictures of the car.
I don't give a damn who took the picture. I don't care if Santa Claus. I don't care if Santa Claus took the picture.
Why don't you tell the people that took the pictures of the car?
Shut the hell up, cracker. Listen to me. We'll give you $500.
What are you, smoking crack?
Your mammy smoke crack.
Man, you know what? Sir, you know what? You better hope the I don't see you.
Don't you start talking this kind of shit.
All right?
Who the hell
you are being on tape.
Trying to get $8,000.
And let me tell you something, right? I got every right saying what I'm saying, right?
I got 5 other calls.
I got you on tape.
I got other people. I got other phone calls. I don't have time for this.
And what are you going to tell them? The same damn thing you're telling me?
I tell people what I want to tell them.
Yeah?
My company, I do what I want to do.
Yeah, what the hell is... No, what? Your company sucks.
Get off and kiss my ass. Kiss my black ass.
Kiss my black ass.
Get off this telephone.
Who the are you, man? You get off the phone. I can't even drive. I got $400 into rent-a-cars.
Good.
Rent-a-cars alone, $400.
Good. Get 2, 3, 4 rental cars for all I care.
Yeah, and guess how much the tow bill is?
I don't care.
And you know what? I was gonna override that.
Like I said, kiss my black ass.
Yeah, we're gonna see who kisses whose ass, all right?
Hey, don't start talking some kind of shit.
Well, then hang the phone up.
Yeah, goodbye.
Motherfucker.
The Touchstone Terrorist with Insurance Claim Parts 1 and 2. Hi, you're listening to the Brain Sandwich Show. This is the 19th podcast. My name is Mike Madonna. Welcome. If you're just finding us for the first time, I hope you've actually downloaded these things in order so that it makes some sort of sense to you, or as much sense as it can make. Here is Mark Young with The Sound of Sinus on the Brain Sandwich Show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Hello, Dristan, my old friend. I've come to snort you once again. because my hay fever is acting up, and nasal drainage may soon erupt. Decongestion has been clogging up my brain. What a pain. I'm wheezing. The sounds of sinus. When mucus really runs astray, a box of puffs can save the day. Neosynephrine's got a hold on me, but it don't help my nasal cavities. I am addicted to Claritin and NyQuil too. It's not the flu. I'm sniffling the sounds of sinus. And in the garbage can I saw 10,000 Kleenex, maybe more. I got some green pills from a friend next door. They last 3 hours if I'm lucky. 4 medications only aggravate my allergies. See what I mean? I'm sneezing. The sounds sinus.
Chris there?
This is Chris. Who's this?
This is Terry. Is Chris there?
I'm Chris.
But you're a girl.
Yeah, so are you.
Wow, I never done a girl before on the phone.
Excuse me, what was that?
Your friends bought you a free 10 minutes of phone sex, and I'm going to give it to you. Do you have the time?
Oh my God.
Tell me what you're wearing.
You go, girl.
What color are your panties?
They're white with pink stripes all over.
Do you have big tits?
Yep, 38C.
Do you like ice?
I love ice.
Oh God, I want to put it in my mouth and run it down your neck and around your nipples till they get really, really hard. And then I'm going to watch the ice melt between your wet pussy. And watch you squeeze the drops of water down your thighs.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Do you like to make love with food?
I love food, all kinds of food.
Because I'd like to take an egg and crack it on your head. I want to eat your pussy like a girl.
Oh God.
I can taste your sweet honey. It makes me nauseous, and I think I'm going to squirt diarrhea all over your face. Would you like that?
What's this?
I want to take a meat cleaver and chop off your fingers so you have to stump fuck yourself every day.
Oh my God, this is gross.
Oh God, baby, I want to eat your pussy so badly and put my fingers inside you until you get wet and sticky.
Oh God.
Oh, it feels so good.
It does.
Damn, you're so hot.
I know.
I want to take a stapler and staple your pussy lips together.
This is terrible.
Then I'll take a 2x4 and smash your face in. Do you like that?
Oh my God, this is ridiculous. I can't take this anymore. Who paid for this? What is this? Who are you?
Fuck you, man.
Well then fuck you, you stupid bitch. I'm not gonna take this. I'm not gonna... My friends are... Oh, goodbye, you stupid ass.
The 976 Girls with Lesby Friends. Before that, Mark Young and The Sound of Sinus. Okay, this next thing is going to be a perfect lead-in to our instructional record for this particular podcast. I'm not going to tell you anything about it. You'll just discover it on your own. So here's Rick Cormier on The Brain Sandwich Show.
Baby, let me see your lovely titties back. Take these beads from round my neck and flash that pretty pair. Oh, let me see, oh, let him see your titties back. I bet all the tea in China you're not a babe who stuffs. So undo the hooks behind you and let this poor boy see them in the bud. I just wanna see your titties bare. Pull that blouse up to your neck, reveal the treasure there. Oh, let me see, oh, let him see. Oh, titties bare. Baby, let me see your mounds of milky white. Some humdingers you've got there, they jiggle left and right. Oh, let me see, oh, let him see. Oh, titties bare. I don't need to see vagina, I don't have beads enough. I'm sure there is none that's finer, but I just can't afford your lovely muff. I just wanna see your titties bare. Hike that blouse up to your neck and give the twins a man. Oh, let me see, oh, let him see. Oh, titties bare. Oh, let me see, oh, let him see your titties bare. I just wanna see your titties bare.
This record is the soundtrack for the for-real film documentary entitled Sexual Adventures in Marriage. Copyright 1976, Pentar Books, Inc. Please play the first portion of this record before starting your projector. It contains important information and some valuable suggestions. Warning, this film series, as well as this recording, contains sexually oriented material designed for mature adults only. This material is a documentary about sex and may contain highly explicit scenes of nudity and sexual activity. If you feel that this recording and the accompanying film may offend you, please refrain from viewing the film or from listening to the rest of this recording. Note that this two-sided 33 1/3 RPM record is divided by groove spaces. These areas separate each of the four parts of the film. This recording is designed to synchronize with your projector, running at 18 frames per second. Please adjust the running speed of your projector to 18 frames per second, or as close to that speed as possible. Thread your projector and run it until you see the words, "This is a sound film." At this point, stop your projector and place the stylus of your phonograph into the appropriate groove for the reel you would like to project. The first groove following the message you are now hearing is for reel 1. Female masturbation has been with us for as long as recorded history. Even in the Bible, reference is made to the casting of a golden penis for use as a dildo. But until recently, this was something that nice people just didn't talk about, or, theoretically, perform. And while undoubtedly many young girls and adult women did masturbate themselves because it came naturally to them and because they felt sexual feelings for which they had temporarily no outlet, the great majority of them must have felt terrible guilt about the act. Worse even than guilt, many women thought they would end up in the insane asylum, break out in terrible scarlet rashes, or at the least be forever unable to experience sexual satisfaction with men if they indulged themselves in this distinctly unhealthy and frightfully immoral practice. Writing as recently as 1935, a distinguished doctor referred to the practice as a perversion. Fortunately for our happiness, we live in more enlightened and less repressed times, where masturbation, both male and female, is recognized as a natural part of every person's sexual life. And not only is it a perfectly normal activity when that person, for one reason or another, lacks the company of the opposite sex but feels sexual stirrings, but also as an important and valuable component of regular sexual life in happily married couples. An additional, and only recently recognized, valuable utilization of female masturbation is when a woman who is imminently anticipating the arrival of her man prepares herself for the encounter well in advance by means of masturbatory techniques, so that she will be well primed and able to reach orgasm simultaneously with her man, assuming her man is one of the usual sort who tend to climax too fast to enable the unprepared woman to reach an orgasmic state. The vitally important point in all this is that the masturbation be without the sense of fear or guilt. This is doubly difficult for those who have been brought up to regard it as a sin, as regrettably many religions still regard it, or as a forbidden and dangerous practice leading to health problems or sexual maladjustment, as many parents of the older school still feel it to be. The only health or mental health problems that it can cause are those caused by the guilt, fear, and worry that so often accompany the act, rather than by the act itself. If girls and young women first learn to enjoy themselves with their own bodies and reach orgasm in this way, they are actually developing their sex potential for intercourse at a later date by learning what actions in which areas are the most erotic for them. If later on they find that they are not experiencing orgasm in regular intercourse, they know it is not their frigidity, but merely a lack of the right stimulation in the right place. This they are able to tell their lovers, and adjustments in technique can be made which will enable them to achieve satisfactory orgasmic results. It used to be feared that early masturbation in women would lead to their retaining the practice exclusively in adult life, or becoming lesbians. But these old wives' tales have no more validity than saying that early male masturbation devotees would never take up with women or become homosexuals. The vast majority of all young women, men and women, masturbators or not, take up active sensual lives with the opposite sex as soon as it is possible for them to do so, the rules of family and society permitting. The direction of their sexual orientation towards those of their own sex, when it does occur, has nothing whatever to do with whether they were or were not practices of masturbation. Confirmation of the value of masturbation in early years, prior to married life, in achieving a superior marital adjustment, has been provided by Dr. Kinsey, who found that only 14% on the average of married women who had before marriage masturbated to orgasm were unable to achieve sexual satisfaction in marriage, while a very much larger percentage of those who had not masturbated to orgasm were similarly unable to achieve that sexual satisfaction later. To sum up then, we should remember: 1. Masturbation is entirely normal and perfectly natural for both sexes and at all times throughout their lives. 2. Masturbation will not cause any physical or mental illness. 3. Masturbation should be no reason for any intelligent person to feel guilt about his or her actions, even though he or she may have been incorrectly taught that it is unhealthy, immoral, or sinful. 4. Masturbation does not make an individual unable or unwilling to have normal intercourse with a member of the opposite sex. 5. Masturbation does not cause lesbianism or homosexuality. 6. Masturbation by a woman prior to marriage will almost certainly make her a better wife. 7. Masturbation by a woman immediately prior to intercourse will in most women make her more responsive during that intercourse. 8. Masturbation of each other by both partners of a married couple, when appropriate, for any one of a number of reasons, can add greatly to married happiness. You will see, illustrated in this movie, all the basic stimulatory techniques which women have developed over the years as the most effective for the average woman. Of course, every individual woman will have to adapt them to her own special needs, and some women will find that they get greater satisfaction by the use of artificial aids, some of which will be discussed in a few minutes. A very important element in all masturbation, which you naturally cannot see in this or any other film because it exists only in the mind of the participant, is that of fantasy. Very few people, if any, can achieve orgasm in masturbation without the use of fantasy, or if you prefer, imagination or memory. The mere mechanical stimulation will seldom suffice. We need to hold in our heads the image of a prior sexual act with a partner which was especially satisfying, or that of an idealized, fantasized, imaginary sexual act which we may wish someday to achieve, however unrealistic that wish may be. This may take the form for many women of dreaming what it would be like if their favorite movie star were making love to them, some man like Robert Redford or Burt Reynolds, Or it may take a more exotic form, such as imagining themselves as a member of some Arabian sheik's harem in a perfumed oriental palace, or being punished for some minor offense by a jackbooted black uniformed policeman. In fact, this world of fantasy and several hundred exotic variations was recently revealed to the general public within the covers of a little pocketbook, which recorded the actual true-life fantasies of a large number of women, as told to a doctor who made a collection of them. For most women, the circumstances must be right. They prefer, for the most part, a darkened room, or with soft and romantic lighting, perhaps a little quiet mood music, and above all, no interruptions to disturb their mood. Other things may also help, such as the touch of some sensuous perfume in the air. And those women who find their vulva frequently too dry may find masturbation eased if they make use of a lubricant. Many of these are now available in fascinating colors and fragrances, and even delicious fruit flavors as well, in case cunnilingus should follow masturbation. There are many other products which an ever-increasing number of women are making a part of their masturbatory activities. The first among them is the vibrator. This is now available in at least a dozen lengths and diameters to suit any woman's intimate desires. Some of them even come with a squirming or exploring motion, or covered with a French tickler-type condoms to increase the sensations. Then, of course, there are the old standbys, the dildos, which are now available in a modern skin-like feel, flesh-colored plastic, and also in a great variety of sizes. In addition, new items are always coming on the market. One of the latest is an inflatable man equipped with a vibrating and ejaculating penis, which is guaranteed to satisfy every woman. We men had better look to our laurels, or we'll find ourselves replaced in the marital bed. And finally, there is the ultimate machine, at a cost of $750, which provides penile stimulation of any length and diameter to specification, with a variable length of stroke, variable speed in strokes per minute, and the ability to masturbate 4 women or men at one time. Amazing, but true. What won't they think of next? In addition to the more obvious areas of the vagina, the clitoris, and the breasts, some women find themselves greatly stimulated by anal manipulation. This they can achieve by the insertion of a finger, or if they prefer some movement, a vibrator, which will add additional excitement to their frontal activities. Truly, there is a broad and diverse world of activity going on out there under the broad heading of female masturbation, and it is another important part of the new liberated world of sexual adventures in and out of marriage. Enjoy it. There is a time and a place for everything, including the various sexual positions. If either you or your woman is sexually inexperienced, it is recommended that the use of assorted postures should follow a certain sequence that allows you to get sexually comfortable with each other before trying more complex or more acrobatic sexual experiments. The first times together, you should use some sort of face-to-face side position while you make sure that your climax is controlled. The next step, once your climax is perfectly under control, or almost perfectly at any rate, is to achieve a mutual sexual climax. At this stage, the best position is for your wife to be on her back, although the preliminaries can be conducted from another position, or more likely from a series of other positions, as the two of you allow your sensations to drive your bodies against each other in constant motion, rolling, gliding, and pressing against each other. After you have both mastered the basic positions and the movements that go with these, you should experiment with all sorts of sexual positions, with all the variations you can think of or accidentally discover. Naturally, this will all add variety to your sexual life, which is absolutely essential to any prolonged sexual relationship. If you are young and relatively inexperienced, and still exploring and being uncontrollably excited by intercourse in the basic few positions, you will find it hard to believe that sex actually becomes dull, boring stuff to some couples. But it is true. Achieving intercourse in the very same way, with the same partner, time after time after time, kills most passion and excitement, and there is nothing duller than dull sex. From your own point of view, at least one of two factors are needed to keep the passion and ecstasy in sex: variety in intercourse with the same woman, and/or variety in women. And any woman who does not recognize this is incredibly stupid, because she's throwing away the future success of her marriage. Hardly any men will endure boredom in their marriage beds without very quickly doing something about it. If a wife can't or won't fulfill the sexual needs of her husband, it is usually pretty certain that the husband will find some other woman who can, and will give him what he needs and wants. Naturally, faithfulness to one woman is a very debatable proposition in itself. If you as a man wish to be faithful to your woman, then this is very commendable. But man, being the animal that he most certainly is, will for the most part crave variety, and he'll find it. If he has been stale with his wife, a little stimulating variety with another woman will do wonders for the marriage, for the woman as well as the man. Thus, any woman who is prepared to go into shrieking hysterics, or just as bad, into a grouching sulk, when she learns that her man has been sharing other beds, is very stupid indeed. Not only will such a wife drive her husband further away, because the contrast between the hysterical or sulking atmosphere in her home and the loving and sexual atmosphere with the other woman will appear very striking, but because she will not learn the lesson she should learn if she wants to keep her man. That lesson is that she has to provide sexual variety at home if she doesn't want her husband to seek it elsewhere. The wife should realize that if her man's emotional state benefits from sexual variety at home and elsewhere, her own emotional state will benefit too. Sexual movements. There is obviously a very limited variation of sexual movements that can be carried on within the confines of our physical structures. Nonetheless, you should try to get full value out of these variations that are possible, no matter how limited the variation is. What can be varied are direction of movement, speed, rhythm, and extent of movement. In terms of direction, the basic movement is forward and backward, with the penis moving deeper into the woman and withdrawing from the full depth. However, this is not the only movement direction. The man may also use a circular screwing motion with the penis. The woman may also engage in this pattern, swiveling her hips in a sort of circle, so as to create delightful sensations for the penis and for the vagina as well. In some positions, the basic in and out movement can be varied, in that the penis is in the vagina at a slight angle, pressing harder against one section than against the rest of the vagina. These movements can be coordinated by the two partners in any one of a number of ways. Together, both partners can move inner and outer, pulling away from each other at the same time. Relatively inexperienced men and women should be careful when they do this, in that the penis can draw out of the vagina. Another way is for the man to perform the sexual motions while the woman rests, and then the woman can do this to the man while he relaxes. This can be done in almost any position. There is no reason why the one on top can't rest while the one on bottom moves, for instance, although many couples never think of trying this. Or one partner can use one type of movement while the other uses another. For example, the woman on her back can use a circular hip rotation while her man drives up and down, in and out of her. The extent of movement can also be varied. The man will move forward and backward for the most part, so that he will experience the friction on the head of his penis. The depth of penetration may vary, even with the same direction of movement being used. He may drive his shaft deep into his woman, or he might make only a shallow penetration. A woman may rotate her hips in a wide, full arc, or she might use a tight little circular movement. The speed of movement is an important key to variety in intercourse. Basically, there are 4 speeds, and each has its place: fast, slow, very fast, and neutral. Moving very fast can be exciting in some positions, those that don't put a strain on either partner and don't involve only shallow penetration. Obviously, very fast movement is not possible when the penis is only slightly inserted. An inexperienced partner should avoid very rapid movement, especially in that coordinating is much more difficult at high speeds. Fast movements are generally more pleasing to the man than to the woman, although most women will crave high-speed sex once in a while. Generally, the slower speed is better for the woman and is recommended for most of the less basic positions. And there is neutral, or no speed at all. You and your woman can simply press against each other after you've achieved penetration, usually deep penetration, and lie there, not moving at all. Many people find this very exciting. Some couples do this in a sitting intercourse position facing each other. In this way, they can look at each other's face and body and talk gently as the excitement builds slowly and steadily, all the way to climax if both partners are patient. Of course, all of the above affects the rhythm of intercourse. But you can also change rhythm without changing speed, direction, or both. Usually the more even rhythm is best, especially for the woman. But you should experiment with more erratic rhythms also. In other words, try everything. Make intercourse a new and different experience every time. And changing rhythm is an important part of this. For instance, you can make every stroke even, or you can alternate between a hard thrust and a lighter thrust. Or you can thrust in hard and withdraw gently and slowly. You can even add a slight screwing motion to your outstroke, but drive in straight. Your woman can imitate all the rhythms of a burlesque queen. After all, those bumps and grinds were covered in the bedroom in the first place. Always keep one thing in mind as you read about the various sexual techniques and positions. Successful sex involves experimentation. No man who is to be sexually successful can acquire his expertise from a book, or for that matter, from another man's advice. You can only acquire so much from someone else's teaching. The rest must come from your own experience and discovery. It's a good thing that this is true, especially because having sex is more fun than reading about how to have it. Thus, as you read the descriptions of sexual intercourse positions, always search for new and intriguing variations that you can add to make the act more enjoyable and intriguing and different. Dozens of them exist, you can be sure of that. Merely because an author doesn't put them down on paper in a book doesn't mean that they are not to be used. Far from it. The positions that are listed in most books should be the starting points from which you set out on journeys of sexual exploration. But every little twist of the body, every flex of any muscle group, every press and clinch has its own little variation. Every human body is different. The nerve structures have different degrees of sensitivity at different points. The limbs are capable of different degrees of flexibility. Obviously, an older person will not be capable of performing some of the far-out techniques, simply because his limbs are stiff and cannot be made to go into the positions that would be necessary, etc. Thus, what is described is only a bare outline of what you can do. You will have to adapt the various positions to your own needs and desires and abilities. You and your woman are equipped with arms, legs, vital organs, teeth, tongue, an infinite variety of sensitive areas, etc. In other words, you have all the necessary utensils with which to partake in a feast of sexuality. So, use what you have. Use them all in an infinite variety of positions. Only by casting aside inhibitions and trying all variations will you be able to have explored and discovered the full range of exotic, erotic sensations that belong to dynamic sex. Only by continually experimenting will you begin to learn all there is to be learned about your own sexuality and the body and responses of your woman. Only by continually experimenting will you have made it possible to ward off that killer of successful sex, boredom. It is incredible that so many people have thrown away all hope of ever gaining sexual exhilaration by making too few or too half-hearted attempts, if they attempt at all, at sexual exploration. So, let yourself go. Take off for your personal flight into sexual ecstasy.
Okay, that was the first part of Sexual Adventures in Marriage. Before that, Rick Cormier with his parody of Elvis Presley's Teddy Bear. Here's another one of those Friars Club roasts. Again, it's Red Buttons, and this time he's roasting Elizabeth Taylor.
This is a marvelous man. This is the scribe emeritus of the Friars Club. His Broadway plays, his movies, his awards are just too many to mention at this particular moment. This is a man who is always there, joking, clowning, giving, helping, always there. Friar Red Buttons. Hey!
Thank you, Dinah. The Ayatollah's favorite singer. Boy, what an opening act. Ella Fitzgerald. How about that? Huh? My God, the gigantic Ella Fitzgerald. Not only a superb artist, but a zealous leader in the civil rights movement. A woman who almost died one day when she wouldn't pick the cotton out of an aspirin bottle. God bless you, Ella. What a show, what a night, what people, what excitement. My good friend Buddy Hackett, a wonderful man. A man who makes pornographic records for the horny blind. A beautiful man, a man with heart. A man who recently willed his body to science, and science is contesting the will. God bless you, buddy. I see my good friend Mr. Sinatra with us tonight. Beautiful man. We're talking about heart. There's the man. A man who last Christmas gave Sammy Davis a half a bottle of Murine. That's the kind of people we're talking about here tonight. My friends, I am delighted to be here tonight for Elizabeth Taylor. My father was a tailor. But this is a wonderful woman. When you speak of heart, how do you leave out Elizabeth Taylor? A woman who right now is building a halfway house for girls that don't want to go all the way. God bless you, Elizabeth. Yes, Dinah, it's true. I am always there. Always there. Joking and clowning, giving and helping. Always there because this is it. This is my life. This is what I do. I don't do anything else. I am always there, and it doesn't matter where. I am there. At a Mame's Own luncheon of the Rona Barrett chapter of Beverly Hills Yentas for Bradley. Who believed that Shelley Winters left out the part about the elephant man. I was there. I was giving, I was helping, I was eating, I was yenting. I was there. Because this is what I do, this is my life, I was there. In Jerusalem, at a Wailing Wall rally to save the whales. I was there, I was wailing. And I was saving, and I was praying, and I was giving, joking. This is what I do. This is my life. I don't do anything else. I was there. At a full showing of the Orson Welles, the designer jeans. I was there, I was falling, and I was showing, I was Orsing, I was Welling, I was there. This is what I do, I was there. In Saudi Arabia, at a NOPEC price-fixing meeting, not for oil, for hookers. I was there fixing and hooking, I was there. In Winnetka, Illinois, at a symposium of masochistic perverts who are suing the National Enquirer for not exposing them. Who was there? I was there. I was praving, I was verting, I was massing, and I was kissing, I was there. In Brooklyn at a secret seance of spiritualist delicatessen waiters who will only contact the dead, no substitutions. I was there. I was subbing, I was contacting, I was there. This is what I do, buddy, I was there. In Greenwich Village, at a joyous gathering of Hasidic stand-up comedians. Who after every punchline kiss their tzitzis and kiss your tzitzis too. I was there. Kissing and tzitzing, I was there. Because this is what I do, and I was there. At the annual Beverly Hills High School Guess Who Your Father Is PTA meeting, I was there, I was peeing, I was teeing, I was A-ing. But I was there because this is what I do. This is what I do, Dinah. I was there. In Holland, my friends, at the annual dinner dance to save the dikes, I was there saving and diking. I was there. I was there. In Miami Beach, at a mass hysterectomy of kosher chickens by Hadassah housewives who believe that the pubic hair spoils the soup. I was there pubing, I was hairing, I was there. This is what I do, Frank, this is what I do, and I am there. That's why I am delighted to be here tonight. For the Elizabeth Taylor dinner. Be happy, be proud, Elizabeth. Because if you stop to think about it, some of the biggest people in the history of the world never got a dinner. Never. I looked it up. I'm talking about the biggies. Mahatma Gandhi's mother, who said to Mahatma, eat a cookie, who's gonna know? Never got a dinner. King Henry VIII, who said to his lawyer, forget the alimony, I got a better idea. Never got a dinner. Be proud, Elizabeth, be proud. Abraham Lincoln, who said a house divided is a condominium, never got a dinner. Moses, who said to the children of Israel, stop calling me Charlton, he never got a dinner. Jesus, who never got a dinner, so they gave him a supper, never got a dinner. Santa Claus's mother, who said since he got into the toy business, he's never home for Hanukkah. And he never got a dinner. These are the biggies, my friends. Rex Harrison's doctor, who said to Rex, by George, I think you've got it. Never got a dinner. Secretary of Interior Watts, who wants to drill for gas at the Stage Delicatessen, and he never got a dinner. Nostradamus, who predicted that Bill Bailey would not come home, never came home, never got a dinner. Steven Spielberg's mother, who said to E.T., I don't care where you're from, you're here and you're going to get bar mitzvahed. Never got a dinner. The late, great, celebrated Tennessee Williams once wrote, and I quote, snatching the eternal out of the desperately fleeting is the great magic trick in human existence. Our guest of honor has accomplished this momentous feat with her zeal and zest for life, with her charitable heart for the common good, with her unselfish devotion to family and friends. May you live forever, Elizabeth, and if not, at least until the last rerun of MASH. I love you, but most of all, I love myself for being so damn funny here tonight.
The Red Buttons roast of Elizabeth Taylor. Here is part 2 of Sexual Adventures in Marriage.
All of the positions you saw in film number 2 involved the woman lying on her back with the man above her. Many couples make it through life without ever trying more than 2 or 3 of the 13 suggested woman on her back positions. An even greater number of couples never try any position in which the woman is not on her back and the man above her. How foolish it is for couples to ignore the many positions in which the woman is not on her back. There is nothing at all perverse or abnormal about experimenting with postures of different sorts, and it is generally much better to do this kind of experimenting than to allow sex to become boring. The man on his back positions. This is the set of positions that has been traditionally looked down upon by many tribes. The reason for this attitude, of course, is that the woman being over the man is thought to symbolize the dominance of women over men. You're quite welcome to read any symbolic meaning into a sexual intercourse position, such as any position where the woman is above the man, But you should realize that this is just your personal opinion, molded by your anxieties, fears, insecurities, and doubts. If this is your view, if you have a strong distaste for intercourse positions in which your woman is over you, then naturally you should not try to hide it from your own feelings or try to repress your own sensibilities. There is no point in trying to enjoy the act of sexual union for any position that for any reason makes it impossible for you to enjoy sex. There is no point in trying it, only to spoil everything for your wife or to spend days and weeks afterwards hating yourself or being disgusted with the very idea of sex. If you have this kind of attitude about the man in his back positions, then it is up to you to decide whether or not you want to try to change the way you feel about such postures. Remember, it is your own personal taste involved in this. There is nothing actually wrong with having intercourse with a woman astride. Such a posture may symbolize female dominance in your eyes, but in reality this kind of position is quite legitimate and is one of the tools of successful sex. You may or may not be able to overcome your inhibitions, but you should remember that sexual power is largely based on the abandonment of inhibitions. After all, if the man on his back positions really made the woman dominant, then he would be trapped in this position, just as the woman is often trapped in intercourse positions in which the man is on top of her. But of course you are not. You can roll over and assume the top position any time you choose. Now it may be the case that you have nothing against these positions, but your woman feels that being on top of you degrades your masculinity. If your woman has any such inhibitions about these positions, you should carefully explain these matters to her. For one thing, male dominance should mean that your wife does what you want her to do, and this includes climbing on top when you want her to climb on top. Some of these positions are rather awkward and difficult for the woman, simply because they are awkward, and before long her muscles will feel like bursting asunder, not exactly a favorable sign for satisfying sex. She will then be strongly inclined to favor those positions in which she is most comfortable. Well, she may be assuming the dominant role in terms of being physically on top, but this is the time for you to show her who is really in control, who is really the master of the relationship. Insist that she favor you with the positions that intrigue you, and if she starts to whine about her aching bones before she has adequately explored and developed a certain position, then give her a good slap where she's built for slapping and tell her to get on with what you want her to be doing. If you are a young husband, remember this. Never tolerate muscular softness in your wife. And if she feels her limbs aching as soon as she starts being really active in sexual play, then you should realize this is a very clear indication to you that she's leading too easy a life and is not working hard enough. Certainly, if your woman refuses to get on top because she thinks sex is only good when she can lie on her back like a pork chop, you should see to it that she learns to play the part you want her to play in bed. If for one reason or another her laziness is interfering with your pleasure, it is up to you to correct the situation, and fast. So far, in dealing with the man on his back positions, we have stressed the advantages of making use of variety, and this is very important, in fact more essential than anything else. However, there are some other factors you might wish to consider. Keep them in mind when you are choosing positions for intercourse. Aside from the variety it offers, the man on his back position is useful in that it allows you, the man, to rest yourself. It requires very little effort on your part, allowing you to take it easy while preparing yourself for greater things to come. It is also quite valuable at times when you are too fatigued to play a very active, energetic role. After a rough day at work, or after a couple of rounds of vigorous man-on-top sexual intercourse, but when the two of you still want to have a go at it, or another go at it. The man on his back positions, or at least some of them, are good if you or your woman are especially fat. There are other and more important advantages too. First of all, if your woman is rather inexperienced and is perhaps handicapped by the possession of a certain sense of modesty and sexual uncertainty, placing her in a position of physical authority over you is likely to help break down this mental hesitation of Victorian modesty. Any of these postures will give her substantial encouragement to thoroughly explore you and to build up her own sexual self-confidence. Lying beneath you, she can feel that you are doing things to her, rather than with her, and she can mentally hide from her own sexuality and sex drives. Having her on top will expose her sex drives to her, unless she just sits there, and no woman with a man's penis and a vagina is just going to sit there. She will have to assert herself sexually, overcoming all hesitations and all modesty. Secondly, when the woman is on top, she sets her own pace and controls the intensity of her own genital stimulation. In this way, the two of you can learn what speed and pace will best suit her. This posture, woman astride in any variation, will let your woman probe for herself so she can discover what suits her best in the way of vaginal stimulation. And as she learns what is best for her, you will learn what is best for her. On the other hand, if your woman is rather experienced in sexual matters, this posture will permit her to show you precisely what she would like you to do. Naturally, the first step towards bringing full sexual satisfaction to your partner is the learning of how to control your natural instinct towards a quick climax. But it is equally important, even though this could only come after a degree of climax's control has been gained, for both of you to discover how your woman can be drawn out toward full sexual stimulation, complete sexual satisfaction, and total ecstasy. There is another value of the man in his back positions, and this one value is more important than all the others combined. Your woman being on top guides the movement and speed to suit her needs, and she can pretty much control the direction of the penis in her vagina to hit just that spot, so that she can usually reach orgasm much more quickly than in other positions. And because you can remain reasonably relaxed in these positions without using much energy on the sexual movements involved, you can direct a concentrated effort toward holding off your climax until your woman has reached hers, or is just ready to reach hers. Furthermore, the physical relationship of the genitals in these positions aids the woman in her drive towards orgasm, while aiding you in your efforts to delay your orgasm. So long as she keeps her genitals pressed down on your body, your penis should receive barely any friction at all. If she slides down along your body until the top of your penis presses firmly against her clitoris, she can receive enormous stimulation without in any way hastening you toward your climax. All the usual motions, side-to-side movements, rocking motions, rotary hip twirling, circular screwing, etc., will accomplish this very well indeed. If your woman sticks to these essential movements and lets you, at the same time, move in and out as much as you want, then she can receive the highly intense stimulation she needs without bringing you over the brink too soon. Don't think it is cheating to take advantage of these ways of postponing your climax while hastening hers. There is no reason at all not to utilize these valuable aspects of the man on his back positions. They are some of nature's devices to give you a chance to offset the natural difference in timing between men and women in the sexual pressure cooker. Yet another advantage of these positions, although a marginal advantage, is that it is possible to have intercourse even when you are not completely erect. And if you reach orgasm too soon and lose the full size and stiffness of your erection, your woman can still keep going. Even if you reached your climax in some other position, you can switch to a man on his back posture so that your woman can make her way to her orgasm. Of course, your woman will be aware of the smaller, softer stance to your penis, but she will still be able to receive some pleasure from it in these positions. With all the positions that involve you, the man, lying on your back with your woman astride you, it is especially important to remember that you should engage in sufficient sex play beforehand, thoroughly arousing your woman. The reason for this is that deep penetration is often very difficult, and if it can be achieved very often will cause a certain amount of pain unless her vagina is quite thoroughly lubricated. For this reason, many couples enjoy starting out in a woman on her back position, preferably a rather basic one, and then rolling over into a man on the back posture. In this way, you can be fully sure that the vaginal lubrication is sufficient before beginning the use of a woman on top position. Only 20 years ago, mouth and tongue caresses of the sexual organs were frequently considered perverse. Since then, such prejudices, not based on any facts, have largely disappeared. Yet many couples still harbor certain unadmitted doubts as to whether such practices are entirely normal, while others are at a loss to decide which practices bring the greatest enjoyment. One thing is certain. Cunnilingus, oral stimulation of the vulva, and fellatio, oral stimulation of the penis, are not perverse. Whatever furthers shared erotic enjoyment, and thus pair bonding, is never abnormal. Many couples value such practices highly, since sexually hard to please women, thanks to cunnilingus, can experience orgasms even if their partner usually reaches orgasm faster than they do. Those women who are experienced in lovemaking usually prefer the intense erotic enjoyment of these mouth caresses above all other practices, with perhaps the exception of mutual orgasm. Many of these women describe the orgasm reached through oral caresses as penetrating and almost unbearably sweet. The fact that many men have a secret predilection for fellatio is proven by the fact that this is the one service most often demanded from prostitutes. The professional fellatio artist can set her fee as high as she pleases, and get it. Wives, who often consider fellatio as an unreasonable demand and below their dignity, should remember all the many massage parlors which have been springing up everywhere recently, and consider why men like to utilize their services. This could perhaps change their attitude. The passive partner can fully savor the erotic joys of oral caresses only if he or she is able to concentrate fully on his or her enjoyment, as any distraction will diminish this enjoyment. This is why oral caresses should not be mutual, but should be enjoyed separately. Soixante neuf, a position which many couples think is the most enjoyable of all oral caresses, does present visual stimulation, but it is very taxing and uncomfortable, and distracts each participant from full enjoyment. This position may have its place as a playful interlude, but it does not fully promote erotic enjoyment. The most beautiful cunnilingus caresses. In order to be able to enjoy her partner's oral caresses to the fullest, the woman must be comfortable and free to move at will. The simplest position is also the best position. The woman lies on her back and spreads her thighs as wide as possible, bends her knees, and rests her feet on the bed. Her partner approaches her from below, in such a way that his face is directly above her vulva. For very slender women, a pillow under the buttocks will raise the genital area somewhat to create better access for the partner. Now the woman can pull the labia up and spread them wide with her hands, while the man reaches over her thighs with his arms and opens the vulva himself. Maximum stimulation occurs if the various parts of the vulva are stroked alternately with a soft and then a rigid tongue, and a strong stimulation should not be followed by a weaker one. The clitoris should be worked on last. Kissing, licking, and caressing all the parts of the vulva and the lower parts of the vagina should be spaced in such a way that the female partner trembles with anticipation until finally, as the male reaches the clitoris, she screams and writhes in ecstasy. Orgasm may follow orgasm if the man continues massaging the clitoris with his rigid tongue. If, towards the end, the male comes too close to the clitoral glands, the clitoris will retract and he will lose contact. The result will be frustration for the woman, and this must be avoided at all costs. Here is a combination action which should give a woman the most intensive enjoyment. The man should position himself in such a way that he is able to stroke the vagina during cunnilingus. Success here depends largely on delicate handling. For instance, the right-handed man should preferably use the index finger of the left hand, which he should introduce into the vagina in such a way that the knuckle points downward. He then should penetrate as far as possible and bend his finger slightly downward until the tip of his finger touches the lower part of the woman's pelvis. As he continues his caresses, he should massage in circular motions the lower part of the woman's pelvis. Careful, the fingernail must be cut as short as possible. At the same time, he should press with his thumb on the woman's perineum, which will enhance the stimulation. This technique can give many women the kind of enjoyment they may have never before experienced. A short rest is recommended before turning to actual intercourse. The loveliest fellatio caresses. Although some women have come to accept the idea that cunnilingus is not dirty, very few females have learned the technique of fellatio well. This dichotomy entails a certain danger which should not be underestimated. Men have of late become conscious of the art of loving. Thus merely satisfying their immediate needs hardly suffices anymore. They also long for the expert partner. If a married man should chance on an outside partner who provides him with the exquisite enjoyment of fellatio, he may probably become more and more estranged from his wife if she refuses him fellatio. Therefore, wives should try to reinforce the pair bonding in their partnership with the help of artful lovemaking. and marital lovemaking nowadays should include the most beautiful caresses fellatio can provide. First, the female partner must become very familiar with all the details of her husband's penis, just as he had to learn everything about her vulva. Some women do not even know where the most sensitive point, the libido center, is located on the penis, and they regard this organ as nothing but a more or less insensate object. They seem to forget that a man's penis is no less sensitive than their own clitoris. Every woman who strives for pair bonding, held together by enjoyable sex, should always be careful to treat her man as sensitively as she herself would like to be treated. The position which a man and woman assume for fellatio may be decisive for the man's enjoyment. For, if the woman should crouch between her partner's legs, she would prevent him from pressing his thighs together, which may enhance his enjoyment of orgasm. This is the best position for fellatio. The man should lie comfortably on his back. His partner should crouch or recline at his side in such a way that she is able to reach his penis with her mouth and with her hands, both from the side and from below. Oral caresses should then best be started in this manner. With the thumb and index finger of one hand, the woman should encircle the penis at the root. With this ring grip, she can vary the pressure on the penis and, by squeezing harder, can increase the erection. She supports herself with the other hand, or if this hand is free, uses it to manipulate the man's foreskin. In fellatio, even more so than in cunnilingus, it is important to achieve a slow build-up of the excitement. If the woman, by prematurely strong stimulation of the sensuous triangle, causes orgasm too early in the game, she deprives her partner of great erotic enjoyment. Most men prefer fellatio for the very reason that this particular form of love play provides him with the mounting excitement of sexual expectation. The clinical name for this anticipatory phase just prior to orgasm is the plateau, and this is more widely experienced by women than by men. Women can remain on this plateau at the brink of ultimate enjoyment for 1 minute or longer when their love partner is both sensitive and understanding. Men are usually deprived of this experience, yet expert fellatio can bring the man to a fairly long-lasting plateau. In order to achieve this, the woman should not touch her partner's sensuous triangle immediately. This triangle is located between the two lower rings of the corona, where the foreskin adheres to the penis and stretches to the tip of the glans. The woman may kiss and lick the entire penis and the scrotum. She may alternately loosen and tighten her grip. She may delicately stimulate the tip of the glans and move the penis skin up and down. In short, she may stimulate the entire penis in various and alternating ways, but she should not touch the sensuous triangle. Only when the man is highly excited and begs for release should the woman softly stroke the sensuous triangle with her tongue. If she does this with expertise, she can create high, long-lasting feelings of excitement which could bring him to the brink of, and yet not to actual orgasm. Then if she slowly increases the stimulation, the man will finally go over the brink. By means of the ring grip, the female partner is in complete control. Even before the man himself senses the onset of orgasm, she can feel the initial spasms at the root of the penis. At that moment, she should take the glands in her mouth and apply ever-increasing tongue stimulation to the sensuous triangle. Rhythmic suction, but not too strong, greatly enhances the man's enjoyment. She should continue the sucking while the spasms slowly die away. She then loosens the ring grip and softly continues the stimulation, but only if her partner asks for this. Quite a few men find any stimulation after orgasm disagreeable and often painful. Pornographic movies often show the woman moving her body on her head wildly in fellatio. Believe me, this is strictly film technique. In reality, such movement would disturb the man's sexual enjoyment. In fellatio, as in cunnilingus, it is fine details, not agitation, which makes an artist. Just as some women like cunnilingus as a means to reach orgasm prior to actual intercourse, so do some men prefer to enjoy fellatio as a separate experience. But this depends entirely on the individual. A man who reacts quickly and also recuperates soon after ejaculation usually is capable of subsequent intercourse. But a man with good staying power might like to share his initial ejaculation intercourse with his partner. We are now nearing the end of Reel 4, the last reel of this documentary series. Naturally, in a film documentary series, there is always a greater limitation of available time than in, for instance, a book. We hope we have succeeded in the limited amount of time and footage allotted to us in bringing you information on new and exciting sexual adventures in marriage. We recommend that you read our new book, Sexual Adventures in Marriage. It will give you additional information on many of the subjects shown and discussed in this film. See the enclosed brochure or send $7.95 to Pentar Books Inc., P.O. Box 1555, Grand.
Doctor's office.
Yes. Can I speak to the doctor?
Yes, this is the doctor speaking. How can I help you?
Hi, this is Jane. My boyfriend is not very good in bed, and I'm just not satisfied. He's just not doing it for me.
I see.
He's really quick and has a very small dick. It's about the size of my big toe, and it's pretty pathetic.
He suffers from premature ejaculation?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, have you communicated this to him?
Yeah, but he doesn't understand.
Do you think he would come in for counseling?
Yeah, but I don't think it would do any good. He's really hairy, and he bangs on his chest, and he passes gas constantly. It makes me sick to my stomach. He also plays with his digit penis, and I just want to crack up in his face. It's sad.
Well, Jane, you seem very unhappy with him. Have you considered breaking up with him?
Oh, no, I couldn't do that. Who would take care of him? Feed him, clean him, and clothe him.
Is he disabled?
No, he's a fucking monkey.
A monkey? An animal?
Yeah, banana-eating, tree-swinging, knuckle-scraping primate, and he's all mine.
A male monkey?
Yeah, a male monkey. There's nothing queer about me.
Have a nice day.
The 976 Girls with Monkey Business, and before that, part 2 of Sexual Adventures in Marriage. That brings it to a close, folks. If you need to get a hold of us, brainboys@aol.com is our email. To close us out, here's the Winthrop Elementary School's version of One Tin Soldier. Adios.
Listen, children, to a story that was written long ago about a kingdom on a mountain and a valley folk below. On the mountain was a treasure buried deep beneath the stone, and the valley people swore they had it for their very own. Go ahead and hate your neighbor, go ahead and cheat a friend. Do it in the name of heaven, you can justify it in the end. There won't be any trumpets blowing.